guys, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about, so when I was living in Hong Kong, why I never ever, I couldn't imagine one single time when I had a confrontation with someone in Hong Kong, in public places. People seem to just get along, just minding their own business. And whether it's the MRT, the system, and what's it called, the metro, or other public transportations, people rarely and never I see get into arguments or confrontations. I've never seen any in my time there. In the UK, there are not that much, I would say, but sometimes one or less. Sometimes there are some arguments that prop up, but I'd say a lot of people try to avoid confrontations as well, like in the public places, sometimes it's down to someone cutting line or something like that, or or the just little irritations in day to day. I found sometimes it's related to, a lot of times actually, I would say 80% or 90%, I'd say a lot of the confrontations between people happen within the driving space. So when people are driving, they often get into road rage in the UK. I found it much more, and also in big cities in Europe as well. So for example, Paris, people are very angry, like every single day. And Parisians are known for being rude and nasty and angry all the time, grumpy. But it manifests itself much more in the driving space somehow, and I'm not sure why. It could be down to the fact that people are in the cars, so they feel more protected, and they think, okay, if I get into confrontation with someone, what they're gonna do? They're gonna hit my car. If they hit my car, then they're gonna lose their no claims bonus for insurance, right? So, and also they have to fix their car, or their insurance company have to fix their car, so they can just throw it out the window, and then they're feeling they're protected inside this metal box. And much less so that I would say in a day-to-day, in a face-to-face kind of physical environment. It does happen, but in London especially, it's not very common, and also in Paris it's not common, because obviously they've got a lot of police on the street. So yeah, so that's the main thing I found. A lot of it is definitely in the cars. But even in Asia, in Hong Kong, I do see a lot of people beeping and stuff, but it's nowhere near like it's nowhere near the nastiness, the angriness of it in the West. You see taxi drivers, they beep a little bit, but I never ever see people ever get into a confrontation in Hong Kong. If it's a confrontation, it's a big confrontation, like some people, they own like huge amount of money, then yeah, then they do get into like a confrontation like that. But usually it's with like business partners, or people it's not like with random people on the street. Whereas in the UK, a lot of times I see like sometimes people bump into you, and then they say, oh sorry, but then the guy says, oh, you what are you doing? What are you doing, mate? Like in an angry voice. And I found that to be kind of confrontational. So so a lot bit about my experience, I guess. The reason why I put this title is obviously it's not every single week actually, but I do got a lot of more confrontations ever since I think the COVID lockdown lifted. I think before COVID, people, the atmosphere on the street was just different. People were much more happier, a little bit. You have a more vibrant street. Although e-commerce was starting to bite up, it wasn't as bad, and I can feel it. You can feel it. People are much happier, right? And then ever since the COVID-19 lockdown, you had a problem where a lot of people, maybe they got really disgruntled and all that, and then suddenly you have opening up of all the shops, and people in my observation, the streets aren't as busy as before. They're still quite busy, but they aren't like it. You didn't have this optimism like you did, 5 years ago. I mean, obviously, the elephant in the room is the economic crisis right now. Well, let's say inflation crisis. It's eating up all the savings and for everyone, especially in Europe. I would say Europe is even worse than North America because salaries haven't gone up, but the cost of living have increased substantially, and people are, they're being forced to eat up this savings, to dig into their savings sometimes, to pay for this stuff, and the whole atmosphere just doesn't feel great. And I just feel like it's definitely like people are much more unhappy. I would just say at one time. So basically, what happened was the guy bumped into me somehow, and then I would turn around, and he was like, "Bro, why, what you doing? Why'd you bump into me?" Or like, I said, "Sorry, you should say sorry, man." I was like, "Oh, bro, chill, man. I just like, I didn't see you there, man." I was like, "Sorry, man." And then he kept like, "Oh," and he just fucks off. It's like he didn't wanna. He's like trying to scold you, trying to act like he's right, like gaslighting. So that happens a lot. And then, if I really wanted to, I could have picked a fight with that guy, So that's confrontation, and a lot of other confrontations as well. Like especially road rage, For example, this happens, I would say, every single day in London, places like London, Paris, road rage, and people are really, they're acting they want to fight, really, because the body language, the tonality. If this was put in Asia, right, this is a fight situation, right? The only reason why they're not fighting is because they're acting like that, but they're not really have the guts to do it. They don't really want to get into it, right? Because they know they're get trouble with the police. So, but they're acting like they wanna do it, right? Whereas in Asia, if you're acting like that, pretty much you will do it. A lot of times, you either don't act like that or you just eat. So that's my take of situation. Like, I don't know what you guys think. If you're driving around big cities, especially in cosmopolitan cities, right, in the West, do you guys have trouble with driving? I think this is like in China, for example, in Hong Kong, I was never ever have problems. In Philippines, I never have problems in driving. People are just so polite in places like Philippines, right? They never ever get into confrontation with you. But sometimes they're a bit too slow, but that's still better than having a road rage every day. I would imagine, I would actually think that in terms of statistics, the police actually have 80-90% of the problems, a lot of the problems, they're related to driving, I would say, because in the broad daylight, right, the other things don't really happen, right? You don't see stealing and stuff unless it's like very a very dangerous area, but you don't really see it in terms of in Europe. So there's some pickpockets, but it's just small things, right? So I would say the main thing, at least in the daytime, is gonna be related to driving and stuff. People they also know that, like, they also know that they'll get into trouble with the insurance company, so they will do the road rage, and then they'll leave it. It's just like, it's kind of like a chicken sometimes. So let me know what you guys think. That's it.